To the person I scammed out of 1 million Neopoints when I was 11, I am sorry. I bet you didn't think I would still be thinking about this 19 years later, but here we are. I concocted a very good plan to steal your 1 million Neopoints so I could buy a Lab-Ray. I was terrible at the games and thought I would never be able to save up that amount myself. After I stole them I logged back into the account I used and saw your message asking me for them back. That guilt stayed with me for a long time. The worst is that once I bought the Lab-Ray I felt totally disillusioned with the whole thing and hardly used it. So I am sorry. It was terribly wrong of me to steal those points you worked so hard for. I took advantage of your trust and your goodwill and made the world a little bit of a worse place because of it. I hope the experience didn't leave you too jaded or upset. I was a jerk and I am sorry. It finally happened. I got into a screaming match with my husband, the stage 4 cancer patient. The details don't matter, my kids doing a shit job on the chores, me being too soft on them in general, him feeling like I never listen/hear him, me feeling the same, but it all boils down to exhaustion. I'm just burned out. It's been 5 months since the diagnosis and we have so much more bullshit ahead of us, and I don't know if I'll be able to cope. He can't work so we're hurting financially. I never leave the house anymore except to take him to appointments or the kids to school or run errands. He's terrified of dying, understandably so. He's sick, tired, and depressed and I completely get it. I do. I just can't keep up with the executive/emotional labor. If there's a problem with anything, even if I'm not even remotely involved, for example one of the kids moved his stuff in the basement and or couldn't find something, it falls to me to fix, tell her to ask first, etc., every single time. This has been the pattern for years, despite countless talks/fights/counseling sessions. I don't even know what I'm hoping to accomplish here. It's just nice to be able to say it all out loud, uninterrupted. My best friend just died. His wife called me and told me he was dead. She told me that he loved me and that I was his best friend. We talked every day, playing video games together or just texting and sending funny videos. We sent each other birthday and Christmas gifts, and his wife would reach out each year and ask me what he might want. I still have a gift in my closet I've been meaning to ship to him for months and now he'll never get it. He was a lot like me, sad but trying to keep pressing on. He didn't have a lot of money and had 3 kids to support. He lived paycheck to paycheck and I felt so bad. When I got a settlement check from a motorcycle accident, I sent him $1,000 the same day I got it in the mail. I told him, "You're my friend, I know you'd do it for me if you were lucky enough." He hated the idea but I insisted and he was very thankful. I was really looking forward to my Christmas gift this year. I just wished he could have been happy. He loved his wife and kids, he just wanted to not be poor. He wanted enough money to be able to see a doctor for his several ailments. He wanted to be able to afford a new gaming headset because his was taped together and on its last leg. He wanted to feel secure and not like the whole world was on his shoulders. Instead he died after a hard day of work at a lumber mill after being hit by a car. He was my only friend and I never even met him. I've spent more time talking to him than anyone else in my life besides my parents. I don't know what to do with myself. I should have flown out to see him when I had the chance. Now the only time I see him in person is at his funeral. The world is so fucked up and unfair. This isn't how his story was supposed to end. He was supposed to win. The good guy is supposed to win. I regret marrying my husband. I should have listened to my mother. Just want to provide some context. My husband has been married previously, and have existing 2 young kids below the age of 10, wonderful children. I treat them as my own even. However, the ex-wife hasn't been particularly great to me, and has caused us many issues throughout the course of our relationship. They are still residing together in the same house but in different bedrooms for the sake of co-parenting. She doesn't even know that he is married to me. As per lawyers' advice to him, it's best to not reveal this information as it may trigger her and cause her to disagree with the existing co-parenting plan, which is that the kids primarily reside with my husband other than the weekend. I just found out I was pregnant 2 days ago, and waiting for my first prenatal appointment at 7 weeks in October and was extremely excited to start this chapter in my life. My husband and I agreed that we would hold off from telling anyone until we hit 3 months, so as to have everything stable, so I haven't even told my own parents who already disapprove of my husband. I already feel so incredibly sad and depressed. I get to see my husband once a week at most. He's staying with his ex-wife. He won't tell his ex-wife about our marriage, because he thinks that she will not let the kids move out with him if he does. And I just feel so fucking alone. I feel like I have nobody to turn to, and I feel so miserable going through all of this alone. We will move in together in our new home in November, and I'll be 3 months by then. By the time the children live with us I'll be 4 months, and he's telling me that his lawyers advise that the ex-wife who hates me, should be allowed in our home to check out the house. I understand it's because of co-parenting but I already feel so miserable as is. I just don't want to be in this position and I feel so lost. My mother told me that this would be exactly the problem, and I defended him again and again and told her this is what I wanted. I completely fucked over my relationship with my parents for a guy who doesn't even prioritize me or our marriage. And now I am pregnant with his child, that he wanted so badly, and I'm still not a priority. My neighbor pretended to be the police to bang on my door and now I am looking for a nice cake to bake him. So today I got locked out of my apartment while going to the bathroom, in Paris, but I was lucky, my boyfriend was inside. I knock and I knock and I call and I knock, but my stone wall of a boyfriend stays deaf. My studio neighbor comes out, offers me his phone and help, but I just excuse myself and go back to knocking. I call and I call, I text and I call and still nothing. I even make a Zoom meeting, add his email to it and invite him aggressively to join, but he remains untouched by my advances. My fingers are bloody bones at this point from knocking on a hard wooden door, and that's when my neighbor the hero comes back out. He knocks on him like the man has the FBI himself at the door, throws in a police just to be sure, then goes back home while I profusely thank him. Where a man finally opens bleary-eyed, he sleeps not 10 centimeters away from the door, and looks annoyed at his cold GF who waited an hour for him to open the door. After a bit of arguing he decides he would rather go outside than have me twist his D into a balloon animal, and leaves. And now I am home, icing what's left of my knocking knuckles while I wonder what cake to bake the neighbor dude and in what to give it. Chocolate has to be it, right?